Dodger pitcher from a foreign land has dominated baseball's headlines from coast to coast. And in any language, the Japanese-born right-hander Hideo Nomo has been the most exciting star of the 1995 baseball season. Nomo Mania has already hit Los Angeles, and now it's sweeping the nation. Tonight, America's newest star faces the first-place Atlanta Braves. From Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium, the Los Angeles Dodgers meet the Atlanta Braves. Coming into play tonight, the Atlanta Braves have caught the Philadelphia Phillies in the National League's Eastern Division with identical records of 38 and 25. And in the National League's Western Division, the Los Angeles Dodgers trail the Rockies by one full game. They're running second behind Colorado. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an evening on ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball. With Dave Campbell, I'm Dwayne Statz. It's nice to have you with us. A lot of excitement in the ballpark tonight for a couple of reasons. The Braves are playing well, and the Dodgers are sending perhaps the hottest pitcher in baseball to the mound tonight.
Baseball really needed a lift this year, in a year when we've had the problems with labor and everything. And Hideo Nomo, a young man from Japan, really stepped up and has captured the attention of the nation. In the month of June, he's been almost unhittable. And it's been a forkball that he has struck out 20 of the last 26 over 2 games. It looks like a fastball till right at the end. The hitters can't hold up. In that 13 strikeout game against the Rockies, all 13 of them were swinging, 10 of them on the forkball.
For the Atlanta Braves, Dave, to claim a part of first place in the Eastern Division, they've won 4 in a row, 8 of their last 11, and an improved offense has a lot to do with that.
Absolutely. The pitching's been there all year, and their bullpen's getting better, but David Justice has really stepped up. He won a game with a throw, cutting down the tying run in the 9th inning, but it's been his bat. 5 home runs in the last 11 games. He's starting to fuel it, and he's giving a lot of protection for Fred McGriff, too. McGriff is hitting much better with Justice behind him.
Overall tonight, a great pitching matchup. Hideo Nomo for the Dodgers, and do not sell John Smoltz short for the Atlanta Braves. All right, thank you, Gary. This is the middle game of a 3-game series. The Dodgers and the Braves opened the series last night, and the Braves came away with a 3-2 victory. A couple of home runs by Justice and Klesko leading the charge, and Jeff Blauser drove in the go-ahead run with a base hit in the 8th inning to give the Atlanta Braves a 3-2 win.
Yeah, and Ryan Klesko, we talked about David Justice in the open. Klesko's 29 for his last 60, 483 with 8 homers. He has been on fire, and that's another reason the Braves have gotten back in the race in the East, as they have caught the Phillies.
Dave, we saw the save, the 7th for Wohlers. They clocked him on 4 consecutive pitches last night at 100 or better, and he's been pitching extremely well for them.
Well, you just look at the strikeout totals on Mark Wohlers, 36 and 27 innings. He is just throwing lights out. It was always a matter of confidence with Wohlers, and he's got it right now. And the Braves feel maybe they've solved that dilemma that's really plagued them ever since 1991. They have not had a consistent closer.
The Braves, so far this year, have played a little better on the road again than they have at home. They're over 500 both places. It's a different story for the Dodgers. The Dodgers are over 500 on the road and under 500 at home. There's the Atlanta breakdown. 20 and 10 away from this ballpark and 18 and 15 at home.
For whatever reason, the Braves, beginning in 1991, when they came from last place to first, have been a better road team the last 4 years.
Braves are taking the field. Tommy Lasorda's Los Angeles Dodgers. Tommy in his 19th year managing this Los Angeles ball club. 4 World Series, 6 league championships, and he thinks this club should win the Western Division this year. Here's his lineup. Delino DeShields leads off. Offerman and Piazza to follow. Karras in the cleanup spot. Roberto Kelly in center. Raul Mondesi hitting 6th in right field, followed by Wallach, Ashley, and Nomo bats 9th. He'll do the pitching.
John Smoltz, 7 and 4, 3.00 ERA. That's 10th best in the National League. He's finally started to get some run support this year. That's why his win total's up. Nothing to sneeze about there. 83 strikeouts and 84 innings. Fastball, sharp breaking ball, and an occasional split finger pitch. But he can dominate as well as Nomo can. Take a look at The defense of the Braves, they are ranked 4th in the National League. Klesko and Justice don't have a lot of range, but Marquise Grissom, maybe the fastest man in the National League. 2 straight Gold Gloves. He has 7 assists. That is second to Raul Mondesi of the Dodgers. The infield has played solidly. Belliard is out of the line or in the lineup in place of Mark Lemke, who's on the disabled list.
So the pitching matchup, Smoltz against Nomo, the National League pitcher of the month. And what a month he had in June. An earned run average of 0.89, 6 wins and 1 loss overall. His earned run average 2.05 for the year. And he'll be in Arlington, Texas as part of the All-Star contingent. The Dodgers have 5 players on the All-Star squad. The Braves will send 2. The Dodgers have Worrell, Nomo, Piazza, Offerman, and Raul Mondesi headed to the All-Star game. The Braves have Maddox and McGriff. And we're set to play ball tonight. A warm, humid evening in Atlanta. The temperature 88 degrees with a light breeze blowing out toward left. Delino DeShields leading off, playing second base, and the first pitch of the game is a strike. Smoltz making his 13th start of the year. His second appearance this year against the Dodgers. He beat them earlier this year out in Los Angeles.
Well, for John Smoltz, who's been a great pitcher for the Braves, especially beginning in 1991, he's probably gone, hey, how about a little respect for me? All we hear about is Nomo. His first start in Los Angeles. Of course, that's when all the pitchers were starting to stretch it out a little bit. He only went 5 innings and got the win.
A ball and 2 strikes. Well, Smoltz really feels, and you mentioned the 91 season for him earlier, Dave. He feels he might be throwing as well now as at any point since the second half of that 91 season. That's a foul ball.
Well, at the conclusion of the season last year, he had elbow surgery to remove some bone spurs, and he said his arm has not felt this good in a long time.
In 91, he suffered through a 2-11 first half and then finished 14-13. Won a couple games in the postseason, and he gets DeShields looking to strike this one. A called 3rd strike for the first out.
Just a nasty curveball from John Smoltz. Slurve, curve, whatever. It starts out and comes right in on the outside edge as Lopez frames it nicely, and Charlie Relaford says, go sit down.
That will bring along Jose Offerman. Offerman, an all-star. The pitch is upstairs, and for him, what a difference a year makes. He's hitting .310 now, finished last year hitting .210. And a base hit to the right side. Offerman makes the turn and will hold with a 1-out single.
Basically a matter of Offerman deciding he's going to swing at strikes. Last year, he really expanded his own strike zone, got himself out all the time. You saw a 3rd best on-base percentage. He gets ahead of Smoltz, 1-0, zones him for a fastball and gets it. Drills it through the hole on the right side.
So the Dodgers have a base runner for their catcher, Mike Piazza, hitting out of the 3rd spot. A ball, no strikes. Piazza continues to be the heart and soul of this Los Angeles Dodger ball club. His average pushing 400, 395 with 13 home runs. The slugging percentage, .707.
One of the reasons, in fact, the reason Piazza is not atop the leaderboard in the National League hitters is the fact he missed 26 games with assorted injuries. He had a hamstring pull early and then had a thumb ligament. A lot of people were really concerned about it. He hasn't even blinked since he's come back. He picked up right where he left off.
The count is 1-1. He has had some problems in a limited number of at-bats against Smoltz. He's just 2 out of 17 against him, but has struck out 7 of those 17 at-bats.
Yeah, John Smoltz is one of those guys that right-handers don't like to run up and hit off. 209 average last year, right-handed batter. Same thing this year.
Foul ball out of play up the right side.
Looked like Piazza was going the other way in this at bat against Smoltz. Got a pitch. John made a little bit of a mistake. Mike didn't quite get the bat head there. Got the breaking ball a little bit elevated, but Piazza was late getting there.
The Shields was called out on strikes. Jose Offerman singled into right. We're just underway in Atlanta.
See if they go after him inside.
A breaking ball in the dirt. Lopez couldn't find it after he had blocked it. Piazza tried to check his swing, but that's going to be a strikeout for Smoltz, and Piazza is not very happy.
Well, Piazza is just wondering why Charlie Rutherford called it himself and didn't get help from the first base umpire. And you see Rutherford look right at Piazza and say, "You went, strike 3." And Tommy is starting early tonight.
So 2 strikeouts for John Smoltz. And was sort of not happy coming to the defense of his hitter, Mike Piazza. Here's Eric Karros hitting cleanup, the Dodger first baseman. And that's a strike.
When Nomo pitches, you're going to see kind of the same thing. A ball that starts in the strike zone, but with a sharp break. It's a different pitch. Smoltz is a slurve, and this one the right-handed batters are not recognizing the spin on it whatsoever. Piazza is still grumbling to himself. Karros did not pick up the spin on that pitch.
Karros leading the Dodgers in home runs with 14. This one wide, 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of people who have followed this game for a while say 70 to 75% of all swinging strikeouts come on pitches out of the strike zone. Hitters hate to get caught with a bat on their shoulder. Thus, they see a pitch that starts in the zone, and sometimes they commit. I mentioned that the Rockies and the 13 strikeouts they had against Nomo, quick throw over to first, all 13 of them were swinging. And as we checked the videotape of it, 11 of them were not strikes. But they appeared to be strikes until the last minute when that forkball was just dipping out.
2 outs, a man at first. 1-1 the count on the Dodger first baseman, Eric Karros. That's on the edge for a strike. Smoltz working over the corner.
Got nasty stuff tonight.
All the attention has been focused on Nomo, but Smoltz, a quality pitcher in his own right. And a breaking ball bounced to third. Chipper Jones across to McGriff to retire the side. So the Dodgers do not score. They will send Hideo Nomo to the mound. Bottom of the first coming. No score. In Atlanta, no score. Bottom of the first inning coming. John Smoltz and Hideo Nomo on the mound. In the middle game of this series, Bobby Cox has his Braves tied for first in his 10th season as manager, his second time around, his 6th consecutive season here. And his lineup goes down this way. Grissom, Blauser, and Jones, McGriff, Justice, and Klesko down the middle. Lopez, Belliard, and Smoltz rounding out the Atlanta lineup.
26-year-old Hideo Nomo, 5 years under his belt in the Japanese leagues. His last 3 starts, 3-0, 2 shutouts, 0.34, has struck out 26 in his last 2 ball games. And you better hit the first pitch against this guy. Batters hitting 300 when they hit the first pitch. When they get behind 0-1, school's out, 0.94. Defense to play behind Nomo tonight. Maybe the Achilles heel of the Dodgers. They do not catch it very well, and Jose Offerman has 18 errors, most in the major leagues. On the other side of the coin, Raul Mondesi in right is great. 10 assists and a brilliant outfielder.
Marquise Grissom steps in against Nomo, and the first pitch is upstairs, ball 1. Grissom's game has rounded into form recently. After a slow start with the Braves, things are starting to fall into place for him. And he's ahead in the count, 2-0.
If Nomo has had problems, like a lot of great pitchers, they have come early in games.
And he misses way high this time. So the count is 3-0. And with this 6-1 record overall, an earned run average of 205, he has pitched much better in Los Angeles than he has on the road. And he walks Grissom on 4 pitches. Well, the Braves have a base runner.
Well, obviously the motion is something that a lot of the players in the major leagues not used to seeing. Kind of a hesitation, long windup, but he really wasn't close on those first 4 deliveries to Marquise Grissom. Now, he is prone to giving up the stolen base. 13 out of 15. That leads the National League in stolen bases against.
Jeff Blauser. Blauser had what turned out to be the winning base hit last night. And Nomo misses to him. Well, if the Braves had as their game plan against Nomo to not swing at that forkball and maybe go after the first pitch, Nomo has made it tough to do here through the first couple hitters. There's a strike, a fastball. It's 1-1.
John Van Orden's the advanced scout for Atlanta, and he said in his scouting report it was very simple. Hit the fastball and take the forkball. Problem with that is the forkball looks like a fastball until the last second. So we'll have to see how that goes as the evening progresses.
This one floats in too high. 2 balls and a strike.
Clarence Jones, the batting coach, played in Japan from 1970 to 77, and he said he's used to seeing those kind of motions. He talked to his hitters about just waiting until you see the pitch. Don't start watching all that motion.
Grissom is going, and the pitch drilled through the left side. Offerman had broken to cover the bag. Grissom will go to third and stop there. The Braves will have runners at first and third. Blauser hit it through the open shortstop spot when Offerman vacated.
The Dodgers may have outsmarted themselves that time, having the shortstop cover. They figured maybe Blauser would swing late on the fastball, but right through the hole vacated. Otherwise, a perfect double play grounder. You see Offerman leaving and right through the hole. So all left-handed batters coming now. The right-handers get aboard. Let's see what Nomo does against the lefty.
First and third with nobody out. Chipper Jones, the young switch-hitting infielder. Jones with 11 home runs on the year. His first 9 home runs this year came as a left-handed hitter. Pitch is down for a ball.
He has gone 1 ball, no strikes on each of the 3 Brave hitters. And when the Brave hitters get ahead, they're going to even look more fastball.
Nomo coming into this one has an 18 consecutive innings streak going, scoreless innings. And a toss to first on Blauser, who's back in there. Back-to-back shutouts for Nomo over San Francisco and Colorado. So 2 of his 6 wins, the 2 most recent victories, have been shutouts. And he's up with this one. And behind Jones, 2-0.
Throwing 2 splitters so far, and they've both been up in the strike zone. He'll throw the split for a strike. That doesn't have as good a downward movement as when he gets ahead in the count. But right now, he's struggling early. Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, standing next to Tommy.
And that pitch is a strike. That's the 3rd strike he's thrown through the first 3 hitters he's faced. He walked Grissom on 4 straight. Blauser came up with a base hit. Grissom going to third on the Blauser single, setting up a first and third situation for Atlanta.
Didn't give in through a 2-0 forkball.
He's out of the strike zone high with this one, and behind Jones, 3-1. Nomo had given up just 8 walks in his previous 4 games. Earlier this year, he did give up a few walks, but they, for the most part, disappeared altogether over the last half-dozen starts. There goes Blauser. The pitch is a strike, and there's no throw to second. So Blauser moves in uncontested.
Well, if the game plan of the Braves is to get ahead in the count and then hope for fastballs, Nomo threw a forkball. Big jump by Blauser. No throw even by Mike Piazza.
So both men in scoring position. Full count to Jones. And a bouncer foul.
Against the Rockies in Nomo's last start, which he won 3-0, the Rockies had a man at third in the first inning. Larry Walker up. He was able to strike out Walker. And then he got Andres Galarraga. And the Rockies only had one more shot the rest of the ball game. So the Braves, if they're going to get him, they probably should try to get him right here.
Well, they have a big opportunity. Grissom and Blauser in scoring position. There was a fastball that Jones took a nice cut.
Take a look at the motion out of the stretch. And threw a fastball, and Chipper Jones was right on it. So Chipper's had some pretty good swings against Nomo here. Dodger infield is back conceding a run if Jones can put it in play.
Nomo, 26 years old. In trouble in the first. And Jones could not lay off. He's out on strikes. So Nomo, 3-2 against Jones.
Well, this is that devastating pitch that he gets most of his strikeouts on. Right there, it looks like fastball hittable, and then as you start your swing, you just go, oh my. Bottom drops out. Problem is you don't pick up the rotation on the ball. He hides it so well, and his arm speed is exactly the same on the split finger pitch as it is on his fastball.
Now Fred McGriff. McGriff, the Braves cleanup hitter. He'll be at the All-Star game next week in Arlington, Texas. First pitch to him is a ball. Dodgers had a base runner in their first, left him on. The Braves have a threat in the bottom of the first. Wow. 1-1.
Tommy Lasorda said one of the things he loves about this kid so much is when he gets in trouble, even late in the game, he doesn't even look at the bullpen. McGriff, now you see it, now you don't.
Well, Nomo spent 5 seasons in the Japanese Pacific League. Made the All-Star team every year, was 78 and 46 there. And this one misses. 2 balls and a strike, and because of that experience, he probably, despite the language barrier, has had a great aptitude, and his experience has helped him in the game as the Dodgers try to communicate a few baseball ideas to and with him. McGriff did not check on the appeal, says Randy Marsh.
Well, again, if the game plan of the Braves was to get ahead in the count and look for fastballs, Nomo has turned them inside out. Once again, 2 balls, 1 strike, and the forkball. And McGriff, according to Randy Marsh, third base umpire, strike 2.
So the count square, 2-2. And he strikes him out. Piazza goes down to first to complete the putout with first base unoccupied. So the throw to Karros, 2 gone with runners still at second and third.
Well, if the Braves hitters aren't able to recognize that, it's going to be a long evening, and you're going to be seeing a bunch of that. Piazza trying to get his body in front of it and knock it down. But Nomo, the Braves could be looking at their ball game right here in the first inning. Dodgers were conceding a run infield back, but couldn't put it in play.
And David Justice, who has given the Braves an offensive lift since returning from the disabled list, steps in and takes ball one.
If I turned in a scouting report on Hideo Nomo, I would say once you get 2 strikes on you, put the bat on your shoulder. He's going to walk a lot more than he's going to strike out until he proves that he's going to have to throw the pitch in the strike zone. That's tough to tell major league hitters, though, to put the bat on your shoulder when you have 2 strikes on you.
And this one gets by and bounces right back, but over Piazza. And Grissom comes home with the first run of the ball game. Boy, for just a split second, it appeared that the Dodgers got a break on the carom as it bounced back to the plate, but it skipped over Piazza's head, and there was no play as Grissom crossed the plate with the first run of the game.
Shortest backstop in the major leagues. This is something as a runner you always have to be aware of. That one goes right through the 5-hole, as the goalie would say, and Piazza overran it. Otherwise, it's very solid back there. There's no cushion, and a lot of times that ball will bounce right back to the catcher. So you've got to be aware of that when you're the runner at third, and Piazza didn't get the wicket down, and had he caught it, he could have easily gotten Grissom.
A wild pitch. That's the 9th of the year charged to Nomo. Now he misses with this pitch. He's behind Justice.
Well, you know Justice has a green light, and Tommy's saying, yeah, he's swinging. He's just reminding Piazza.
So Grissom has scored, and Blauser moves to third on the wild pitch as well. And a strike. It's 3-1.
That's the thing that sets up the devastating forkball is a fastball that they clock anywhere from 90 to 92 miles an hour. So it keeps you honest.
Nomo touch for a run. Justice up in the count. And he walks him. There's ball 4. So 2 walks, a single, a wild pitch, a run is home. And again, the Braves have men at first and third. Nomo making his first appearance against Atlanta. So the Braves hitters getting their first up-close look at Nomo, who's made 26 pitches already here in the first inning.
Very hot, humid night. We were wondering, and our Peter Pasquarelli talked to a few Japanese journalists, and indeed he pitched in a lot of humidity in Japan as well. So this isn't anything new to him.
Wesco takes one upstairs for a ball.
Peter was speaking Japanese too.
He continues to impress.
Yes.
And that's in there for a strike. It's 1-1.
Dwayne, we mentioned when Nomo throws a first pitch strike and they don't hit it, he goes 0-1. Hitters hit 0-94. He has not thrown a first pitch strike to 6 hitters in the inning.
He's 1-1 with Ryan Klesko. This one down.
Pretty good battle.
2-1.
Pretty good battle right here. You got a pitcher that's captured the fancy of the American public, and you got maybe the hottest hitter in the National League right now, Ryan Klesko, nearly 500 his last 60 at bats, 29 for 60.
And 8 home runs, 22 runs batted in that mix, and 60 at bats. The 2-1. And a fastball on the corner for a strike.
Of course, his pitch count is getting up already, but in games in Japan, he's had games where he's thrown over 190 pitches. And you know Lasorda will leave him out there for a while. Tommy's not one to get to that bullpen very early.
Here it is. And a swing and a miss. Klesko out on strikes. 3 strikeouts in the inning. But the Braves pick up a run at the end of 1. Braves 1, Dodgers nothing. The Braves will be interested in the Braves and the Phillies with identical records of 38 and 25, 6.5 up on Montreal at the start of the day. The Braves picked up a run off Nomo in the bottom of the first. Only 1 ball put into play, however.
Mike Piazza still muttering about overrunning that ball. Turned around and took 1 step. One of those ones where your first inclination is to go get it, and if he'd have stood right there, it would have come back to him.
Now Roberto Kelly. First pitch is down. So John Smoltz to the mound with a 1-run lead. Faces Kelly, Mondesi, and Wallach in the Dodgers' second. Fastball, and Kelly swings through that one. It's 1-1.
Roberto, a former Brave, been with the Yankees, the Reds, the Braves, the Expos, and the Dodgers, and every time traded for a big name outfielder.
That's too wide.
Traded to Cincinnati for Paul O'Neill. Traded to Atlanta for Deion Sanders. Traded to Montreal, or in the, excuse me, he was traded to, he was in the Grissom trade, going up to Montreal, and then got over to the Dodgers. Henry Rodriguez, maybe not a big name, but a guy hit 4 home runs in spring training game this year. Henry's on the DL right now.
Here's the 2-2 to Kelly. And a full count.
Only had 1 out that wasn't a strikeout. That was a bounce out by Karros in the first inning. So John Smoltz fanned 2. Nomo got 3, but the Dodgers trail 1-0 on the wild pitch.
And a curveball popped into short left center. Blauser out from shortstop, and he'll make the catch there. Well, Smoltz using the breaking ball a lot here in the early stages of this game, and he gets Kelly on the pop-up. That will bring along Raul Mondesi, who of all the young players in the National League might be the one most attractive for fans to watch do a number of things. This guy is fun to watch run, throw, as well as hit.
Not too many 5-tool players in the game, but you're looking at one right here.
And the first pitch is fouled straight back. That's going to be out of play.
He finally got his first assist at first base on a potential base hit the other day. He threw out Mark Portugal. Larry Walker of the Rockies now has done it 4 times. Mondesi says, I've just been waiting for the right chance. He said, it's the only way I get assists anymore. Nobody will run on me.
He has 10 assists so far this year overall. Breaking ball into the dirt, and Mondesi held up. The count is 1-1. Jeff Kellogg is umpiring down the first base side tonight. Mondesi has hit in 18 of his last 20 games for the Dodgers. Close to 400, 397 during that stretch. He's out in front. The count is 1-2.
Smoltz got the disappearing slider right now. And the fact that he throws upwards of 90 hitters, just like you can't really sit on Nomo's forkball, you really don't want to sit on Smoltz's pitch either. Did Mondesi hurt his arm a little bit? Yeah, he looked down.
And he chases this one. He's out on strike, so Smoltz picks up his 3rd strikeout, 2 in the first, and then this one here in the second inning for the second out.
Same results, different pitch. Smoltz is throwing the slider that starts in the strike zone and disappears. Nomo, it's the split finger pitch.
2 up, 2 down for the Dodgers in the second. The veteran Tim Wallach in the batter's box. And Smoltz strikes him with a fastball, and it's a strike call. Wallach, 37 years old, came back last year and put up some good numbers for the Dodgers. He's in the hole now, 0-2. Fighting a disc problem in his back this year, but recently says it has given him no problem at all. He's felt very little pain from that. He started to go out there and take a look. Plays off 1-2.
Smoltz may be having thoughts back to 1991 when he faced Jack Morris in the World Series. No margin for error. He's got a run to work with. May not get too many more.
And the Braves have averaged a little over 5 runs a game for him. But that might be a different story tonight. He's 2-2 with Wallach. Smoltz hooked up against Nomo. is out on strikes. 2 more strikeouts in this inning for Smoltz. We'll go into the bottom of the second. The Braves 1 and the Dodgers nothing. Lead, bottom of the second coming here. Baseball's midseason festivities begin Monday night in Arlington, Texas. 7:30, Heroes of Baseball at the ballpark at Arlington. 9 o'clock, the home run derby time. And then the evening concludes at 10:30 with the All-Star Gala. There's Raul Mondesi, and he'll be there in the home run hitting contest for the National League. Lopez goes after a pitch high out of the strike zone. Strike 1.
Javi says if it's straight, I'm hacking.
Lopez, Belliard, and Smoltz against Nomo in the bottom of inning 2. Little number, that's going to be foul. An 0-2 count. Say Mondesi in that home run hitting contest will be joined by Ron Gant, Reggie Sanders, and Sammy Sosa for the National League. Lopez sends the 0-2 pitch back into center, and Kelly is there to make the grab. Well, Nomo has caught the fancy of a lot of Japanese Americans, and they're in the ballpark here in Atlanta.
One thing they don't have here that they have installed in Dodger Stadium, they have a Japanese restaurant now at Dodger Stadium.
Yep. And the press from Japan have been all over this story. All of Japan has been. Belliard lifts one toward the right field line. Mondesi just bare, makes the grab. 2 gone. Nomo struggled with his control in the first inning, gave up a couple of walks. Charge with a wild pitch, gave up a run.
Well, the Braves going back to that philosophy they wanted to use in the first inning. First pitch, fastball, swing. Don't let him get ahead of you. But he has enough stuff. Lopez swung and missed, and Belliard hit a weak pop to right.
So after making 31 pitches in the first inning, he has made just 4 so far here in the second, and faces John Smoltz. Smoltz after that first pitch, strike 1. John is 1 out of 24 at the plate this year, hitting .042. And Nomo's out in front of his pitching opponent, John Smoltz, 0-2.
50 strikeouts over a 4-game period. That set an all-time Los Angeles Dodger record, beating the great Sandy Koufax.
Smoltz made contact and fouled it back. Upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Got a little lazy with his split finger pitch this inning. He left one up in the zone to Javier Lopez 0-2, and that one was not a good one either.
Count goes to 2-2 as he missed down with this one. Well, Nomo with 3 strikeouts in that first inning, despite being touched for a run. He came in averaging a little better than 12 strikeouts every 9 innings. Here's the pitch count so far, contrasting the first 2 innings so far. And he misses off the plate in. So the count goes to 3-2.
Smoltz has 3 home runs in the career, and you know he's going to sit fastball here.
And Smoltz takes it for strike 3 call. 4th strikeout for Nomo. We're through 2 tonight with the score 1-0 Atlanta. 1-0 through 2 onto the 3rd with the Braves leading the Dodgers. The Blue Jays look to rebound from last night's 14-0 thrashing by the Angels. They had 60,000 plus at Anaheim Stadium, largest crowd in the big leagues this year. Pat Henkin and Sean Bosky, the scheduled starters. Bob Carpenter and Jim Rooker will be along with a call on that one tonight on the 2nd game of our ESPN Wednesday Night Baseball.
Well, here's the strikeout of John Smoltz. Again, that hesitation, then reloads. Smoltz looking fastball, but he was looking where he could get his arms extended, and Nomo tied him up on the inside corner, and John says, okay, but give me that pitch too.
So on to the third inning we go. Through the two pitching lines. A lot of strikeouts in this game so far. Smoltz 2 in the first and 2 more in the second. Billy Ashley steps in. Smoltz misses ball 1. Ashley, then Nomo, and then DeShields. That's a strike, and the count is 1-1. 70 strikeouts for Ashley, and that's been the concern. He leads the National League among all hitters in the strikeout department. Just a little over 170 at bats. 70 strikeouts, and he's behind Smoltz 1 and 2.
Has incredible power. Cleared the pavilion at Dodger Stadium. It's only happened twice in a ball game. This was in batting practice. Ashley did it. Willie Stargill's the only man to ever do that, and he did it twice.
And he put together a pretty good homestand for the Dodgers. This one into left, and that's going to fall in there in front of Plesko. Smoltz left one up, and Ashley drops it in front of Plesko in left.
Well, we talked about Nomo getting lazy with the breaking ball last inning. John Smoltz did right there, too. He had Billy Ashley in a hole and just left one up in the hitting zone. Plesko didn't get a real good jump on this, and Ryan, quite frankly, is not much of a left fielder. His natural position is first base, and it could be that Fred McGriff, whose contract is up after this year, will be moving on.
Nomo up there looking to bunt. That's a fair ball. They have problems picking it up. Out at second base.
I don't think Ashley ever spotted it. I think maybe he thought it was caught. You talk about the cats and jammer kids. I mean, this looked like the Keystone Cops. Everybody going in every different direction.
Another look on the attempted sacrifice that turns into a force play.
I mean, Jones overran it, and maybe in the meantime, maybe Ashley got screened off with all those guys coming. Ashley between slips, falls, and now is going to be out at second base.
So they give Jones an assist on that. It goes 5-2-6. Nomo aboard on the fielder's choice. DeShields bounces one up the middle. That's going to go through, with Nomo advancing to second. Kind of a new experience for Nomo running the bases here. He had gone 0 for 30 and tried to put down the sacrifice. He does have 4 sacrifice bunts, no walks. And here he is on base reaching on the fielder's choice.
Of course, they have the DH in the Japanese league, so he did not bat over there, and got a chance to watch him bat last Thursday night, and it's a good thing he pitches well.
Here's Jose Offerman. Offerman, one of 5 Dodgers who will be on the National League All-Star team. Sends this one into the air, short center. And Grissom takes care of that easily. So Offerman on the first pitch is retired for the second out.
Big out coming right here for John Smoltz. Mike Piazza, hitting .442 on the road this year, is going to step up, tying run at second base. John's got to make some quality pitches, which he has not done in this inning. He left that breaking ball up to Offerman as well.
So there's Piazza. He struck out, tried to check on a breaking ball in the dirt in the first inning, and was called out. Smoltz goes to the outside corner for the first strike. Piazza named to his 3rd straight All-Star game. The 26-year-old power-hitting catcher. And a ground ball that's headed up the middle. Nomo around third and on his way to the plate. Grissom up with it. He'll go to third. The throw is not in time there. The game is tied as Piazza singles into center. and Nomo crosses the plate with DeShields headed to third.
Well, no less authority than Tony Gwynn. It just marvels at Piazza's swing. He said it's so compact and he's so strong. He doesn't really have a great swing here, but he is so strong. Ground balls just jump through the middle. And Nomo is going to score. He's going, what's this all about? Okay, makes a nice turn, though. And he has scored his first major league run.
So he's thinking that's not too bad getting on base. The game is tied. First and third for the Dodgers for Eric Karras. A little bender in for a strike. Karras grounded to third his first time.
Not too many guys dominate the Atlanta Braves, but Karras 10 for 20 against Brave pitching this year. So he's been a tough out for the staff.
Smoltz gets the jump on it. 0-2. We're in Atlanta Stadium, Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium tonight. Top of the third. Braves and the Dodgers. John Smoltz and Hideo Nomo, the pitching matchup. Into the dirt. It slips behind Lopez, but he recovers. DeShields started to come down the line, but didn't get a real good look as Piazza goes into second. So that'll be a wild pitch. Out of all that scrambling, Piazza does advance. That's the third wild pitch charged to Smoltz this year.
I don't know if DeShields just didn't get a good read on it or not, but he hesitated. Might have been the fact that when Lopez stuck the leg out, that just blocked off DeShields from seeing the ball from his angle. So if you can't pick it up, you really can't go.
So it's a ball, 2-strike count on Karras. Delino DeShields at third, Piazza at second, and a liner that's going to be foul down toward the bullpen.
Eric Karras has already matched his home run and RBI totals from a year ago. 114 games last year, and he's done it in less than 70. Said Mike Piazza really gave him pretty good talking to this winter. Said basically, hey, you're going to bat 4 times in a game. You're going to see 12 strikes. You mean to tell me you can't hit the ball hard 4 times? Well, it's worked so far for Karras.
And he's using all the field since it only took him about 2.5 years to learn that he can go the other way. He is out on strikes here on that breaking ball. Down to McGriff to complete the strikeout. 1 run home for the Dodgers. We go into the bottom of the third now with the score. Dodgers 1, Braves 1. Braves scored their run in the bottom of the first. The Dodgers back with a run in the top of the third. Mike Piazza coming up with a base hit to chase home Nomo. So the game is tied as we go into the bottom of the third. Hideo Nomo goes back to the hill to face the top of the Atlanta batting order. Marquise Grissom, Jeff Blauser, and Chipper Jones.
Well, a lot of people kept saying about Nomo, well, the first time around he's got that strange motion, whirly bird hesitation. Hitters will catch up to him the second time around. Well, the second time the Pittsburgh Pirates faced Nomo, he struck out 16. Second time the San Francisco Giants faced Nomo, he struck out 13. So that hasn't been the form.
So he faces Grissom. Grissom walked on 4 pitches to start the bottom of the first. Goes after the first pitch this time and fouls it straight back out of play. Strike 1. Marquise Grissom started slowly, then got very hot, and recently is now 3 of his last 24, so he has cooled a bit, but overall his numbers are a lot closer to what the Braves thought they would be. 1-1. He had a 14-game hitting streak that was stopped about the 3rd week of June. That matched his career high. Way upstairs. 2 balls and a strike, and Grissom, another one of the Braves hitters who will sing the praises of Clarence Jones, the hitting coach. He said during that struggle early in the year, Jones kept Grissom focused. Fastball, and he takes a rip and misses. Clarence Jones has spent 7 or 8 years playing in Japan, so he has a frame of reference when his team faces Nomo. That's foul out of play, and he says that he was not surprised that Nomo has pitched so well because he thought that pitching was a real strength in Japan of baseball over there. And I thought Bobby Valentine's comments were interesting as he tried to rate the various pitchers and place Nomo into the dirt, and Grissom chased that one. Strikeout number 5 for Nomo. Valentine, who's managing over there, thought that Nomo might be ranked 30th in the Pacific League.
Well, once again, same old story. The pitch that looks like a fastball right there, you've already started your swing, and then it just disappears. Great arm speed, great deception. Major league hitters have not been able to lay off that pitch.
Now Jeff Blauser. Blauser with a base hit his first time up. One ball, no strikes. Blauser with the big hit last night for the Braves. He's ahead in the count against Nomo. 2-0.
See what Nomo comes with here. He does have the one fork ball he can throw for a strike. Doesn't have quite the bite. He heated it.
And a popper short left. Offerman out. Ashley coming in. And Ashley drops it. Ashley ran Offerman off the play and then dropped the ball. Blauser winds up at second.
Well, Billy Ashley has really had problems defensively this year. Dodgers, that is the one problem with this ball club. They don't catch routine plays. And give Jeff Blauser credit. He was running hard all the way. Some guys would have just been in the old trot, and Ashley just chopped it up. Some guys, like I said, Offerman called off by the outfielder, the correct play, but you got to catch it.
63 errors this year charged to the Dodgers.
Blauser just kicks it up a little bit, but some guys would have just trotted down to first base and stood there.
Now Chipper Jones steps in. The Braves have another scoring opportunity. And this one on the defensive mistake. A ball, no strikes. Well, Jones was up there in the first inning with Grissom and Blauser aboard. Got ahead in the count, but ultimately could not lay off the forkball and struck out swinging. Strike is called this time, 1-1.
Jay Leno will probably resurrect the old Johnny Carson line of what do Michael Jackson and the Dodgers have in common. And that is they both wear a glove on one hand for no apparent reason.
Well, the Dodgers dead last when it comes to the defensive standings in the National League, leading the league in errors. 1-2 now.
Last week, Ashley, in a game at Dodger Stadium against the Padres, Dodgers had a 3-0 lead, bases loaded, and it was twilight time, and Roberto Pettigini hit a fly ball. Pettigini hit a fly ball to left that Ashley never saw in the twilight. It dropped for a 2 RBI hit, and the Padres went on to win that game 14-3.
There's ball 2 off the plate, sweeping down and in. It's 2-2.
Chipper Jones has had about as good approach approach to hitting Nomo. He did strike out the first time, but it looks like he's following the ball maybe better than any of the other Atlanta hitters. We shall see.
And he swings through this one. So the young third baseman strikes out for the second time.
Nomo's gone a little bit more to the fastball recently. Up and in. Usually most left-handed hitters have a hole in that area, and Nomo just beats him with good heat.
6 strikeouts for Nomo. The last 5 games, 56 strikeouts. 2 gone with Blauser at second, and here's Fred McGriff. McGriff goes after the first one, lifts a foul ball that carries toward the stands. Wallach over there, but no chance.
Those brave hitters, first pitch fastball they see, they're jumping on it. They've seen Nomo once, and they're going, I don't think I want any part of that split finger pitch. Let me jump on something early in the count.
Nomo for the year now has 115 strikeouts. He's given up 43 walks. Into the dirt, blocked by Piazza. No chance for an advance by Blauser. 1-1.
Well, Piazza had one go through the 5-hole before. This time does a little better job of dropping. And just lets it hit him in the chest protector. The one that got through him scooted. It didn't come up at all.
Bouncer. Nomo off the mound, but bobbles it. The throw to first is late, and the Braves are still alive with Blauser going to third. Nomo, a nice play getting off the mound, reaching out to glove it. But when he went to make the play, he lost it, and McGriff reaches.
Well, Nomo probably watching some of his teammates picking up some of their bad habits. Makes a great play to get it there, but when he goes to transfer, bobbles.
That's his third error of the year. So 2 Dodger mistakes in the third in this tie game. 1-1. Blauser now at third after reaching on the ball dropped by Ashley in left. McGriff reaching on Nomo's error. And David Justice with a chance again here in the third. Justice walked in the first against Nomo. And he goes after the first pitch for a strike. Well, the Dodgers have created a problem for themselves in the third, putting a little more pressure on their starter Nomo with these 2 errors. And Nomo committing one of those errors. Justice sends it high into left again. Ashley coming in, settles under it, and makes the catch this time to retire the side. We are through 3 from Atlanta. The Dodgers and the Braves remain a little more peaceful here at the moment. Through 3, Dodgers and the Braves are tied 1-1. Smoltz and Nomo the matchup. Smoltz with 5 strikeouts so far. Nomo has 6. And Roberto Kelly leads off for the Dodgers. 4th inning underway. Ball 1. Kelly worked the count to 3-2 to lead off the 2nd inning and then hopped out to Blauser. Breaking ball is fouled. The count is 1-1 now.
Well, Hideo Nomo talking to Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, and Dave saying, you know, our defense, that's why you're supposed to strike everybody out, okay? Okay.
And a good part of the time, that's exactly what he does. Kelly with a foul ball now behind Smoltz. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dodgers trailing the Rockies by a game in the West. The Braves tied with the Phillies for first place in the East. And a fastball. Kelly just a piece of it to stay alive. Holding the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Thinking about the Braves' success over the last 4 years, and especially recently, the way to win the East has been to clobber the West. Last year they were 24-4 against Western Division teams. This year they're 11-3. They really handle, especially the Padres, Rockies. They've beaten 24 out of 27 times in 3 years.
So Smoltz picks up a strikeout of Kelly on a breaking ball. He got ahead of him 1-2, and that's number 6 for Smoltz.
John Smoltz is throwing some excellent breaking balls, and that's one of them there. He also has left a few up in the zone, but if you made the perfect pitch every time, whoever led the league would do it with about a 170 average. Now
he faces Raul Mondesi. Mondesi, a strikeout victim his first time around, and he takes this one right back through the middle. A single into center.
We could have a little interesting matchup here. Mondesi going, yeah. Raul has stolen 14 straight, but John Smoltz pulls runners probably better than any other Atlanta pitcher. So if he goes, it could be an interesting matchup. Braves, though, have only thrown out 15% of would-be base stealers all year.
Well, Tim Wallach's going to be the hitter with Mondesi up there. The Dodgers with speed at first and one out. And it's down for ball one. 3 of the 4 hits off Smoltz have been base hits up the middle. The single by Piazza that scored Nomo was a base hit into center field. Mondesi took him right back through the middle. A 1-out single in the 4th. Mondesi back in. That documents his perfection in the steal department this year. Already one of the more dominant players in the National League. Some feel on his way to being the dominant player. Wallach looking for the hard stuff and could not hold up on the breaking ball.
Jimmy Williams, third base coach, walking off Bobby Cox. They've been together a long time. They were together up in Toronto. Jimmy was one of Bobby's coaches up there. Jimmy eventually managed the Blue Jays, and now both of them down here.
And a strike. So Smoltz is ahead of Wallach. There's Bobby Cox again. Mondesi back in at first.
So Raul, called by Vin Scully, 46 years a Dodger broadcaster. He said if he doesn't get hurt and he continues to improve, he has a chance to be the greatest Dodger ever. And that's saying a little bit. There's been some pretty good ball players that have gone through there.
He's leaning and going. The 1-2 pitch is foul, out of play. Wallach fouling it right back over the screen. Mondesi off with that pitch.
Mondesi, pretty good jump, and he can really accelerate and get to top speed early. He's a lot like our broadcast colleague Joe Morgan. Joe didn't have the blinding speed a lot of people thought he did, but he could get in top gear after about 3 steps. One of the reasons he was able to steal close to 700 bases in his career.
We have a 1-1 ball game. Mondesi's going again, and Wallach sends it into right field. That ball's going to fall in front of Justice for a base hit. Mondesi easily goes to third as Wallach made contact and dropped it just out of the reach of Justice in short right.
Dave Justice tried to make a little deke on the play, but Mondesi wasn't buying it. He knew all the way that that ball was not going to be caught. He was on the move. Wallach, super piece of hitting. Mondesi goes, you're not going to catch that. You see Justice with the glove up trying to deke Mondesi. Raul was already halfway to third. Didn't work that time, David.
Now Billy Ashley steps in. Ashley has a base hit. 1 for 1 on the night. Goes after the pitch up out of the strike zone for strike 1. Ashley in the recent Dodger homestand hit .367 with a couple home runs. Pushed the average over .250. This one pops away from Lopez, but no advance, no chance for Mondesi to score, and no advance by the veteran Wallach off first.
course, John Smoltz has always been up amongst wild pitchers, and Javi Lopez, that was not a wild pitch. Lopez led the National League in pass balls last year with 10. That one didn't get far enough away to do any damage.
One and one to count. Upstairs. It's now 2-1.
Ashley, 63 homers the last 2 years in AAA. He's done everything he can do there, but he's struggling a little bit making the adjustment to the big leagues.
He missed that one by plenty, and the count is 2-2. In the minor leagues, he's hit not only for power but average. He hit .345 at the AAA level last year. So you're right, Dave. He's accomplished offensively about all he can accomplish at the AAA level. Trying to take the next jump. And this one is low and outside. A 2-2 breaking ball. So the count goes to 3-2 on Ashley. The on-deck hitter, the pitcher, Nomo. Mondesi over at third. And Tim Wallach, the runner at first base. One out, full count on the hitter, Ashley. That's number 7 for Smoltz. Well, we figured we'd see a lot of strikeouts tonight with Nomo and his recent history. We've seen a lot of strikeouts from both pitchers.
Well, Ashley thought he was going to get a fastball 3-2, but Smoltz threw him the slider, and Billy not really close on that one.
2 outs, both coming on strikeouts on breaking balls in the inning. Now it's Hideo Nomo. Outside, ball 1. You don't know how this game's going to turn out, but boy, that could be a big strikeout with men at first and third, and the pitcher due next. Smoltz retires Ashley. Now a chance to get Nomo and get out of the inning, but he falls behind Nomo 2-0. Hideo Nomo trying to put down a sacrifice his first time and reached on what turned out to be a fielder's choice. He is 0 for 31.
He may have gotten the take sign here.
And he does. It's a strike. And 0 for 31 will do that for you. Charlie Relaford. The count is 2-2. Smoltz comes back missing downstairs in a full count on the pitcher Nomo. Well, Nomo went 3-2 to Smoltz in the second inning and got a call third strike. Smoltz would settle for that here with runners at first and third. Raul Mondesi, the runner at third. Tim Wallach aboard across the diamond at first base. And the 3-2. Foul ball out of play. So Nomo made contact.
So much for my idea. I thought Lasorda might give him a take 3-2.
So Smoltz will have to make another 3-2 pitch to Nomo. And strike 3 is called. Smoltz with 3 more strikeouts in the inning. 2 hits, and those men are left on base. Bottom of the 4th coming, a 1-1 tie. Throwback and here in Atlanta. Nomo not doing anything to hurt his chances in the strikeout department tonight. 6 so far through the first 3 as Ryan Plesko leads off, fouling the first pitch out of play, strike 1. We've had 32 hitters in this game so far and 14 strikeouts, 6 by Nomo and 8 posted by John Smoltz. Hideo Nomo out in front of Plesko, 0-2.
One concern you have to have about Nomo, last year he had to shut down in the Japanese league because of shoulder tendonitis. So we'll have to see how the wear and tear of the big league season, how he does over the course of it.
And a foul ball down the right side. Down still 0-2 on Klesko. Nomo averaged 234 innings in his 5 seasons in Japan. Upstairs, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And a lot of pitches. And that's holding true tonight. He had over 60 pitches through the first 3 at 65 right now. The count is 2-2. Leading off the bottom of the 4th. And a strike is called. Klesko becomes the 7th strikeout victim, and he didn't like the call of Charlie Relaford.
Well, it's a port ball. Kind of unusual. Starts up. Klesko goes no. Relaford says yes. Ryan didn't like the call.
Javier Lopez, the Braves catcher. Advance now. A ball, no strikes. Nomo picks up the outside corner. It's 1-1. Well, the Braves scored in the first, taking advantage of Nomo's early wildness when he walked Marquise Grissom on 4 pitches. Later walked Justice in that inning. There's a liner over the head of Karros and into right field for a base hit. Lopez makes the turn and stops there. Hit number 2 for the Braves off Nomo. So Lopez is aboard with 1 out.
Sounded like Javi cracked his bat, but a pretty good hitting approach, trying to take him the other way. That'll keep you back a little bit on the split finger pitch. You think about getting the bat head out against Nomo, he's going to make you look rather foolish on that splitter.
So the Braves catcher's aboard for Rafael Belliard, who's playing second base in the absence of Mark Lemke. Lemke with a strained left hamstring. So Belliard's been getting the starts at second base in Lemke's absence. There's a little looper into short right. That ball will fall. The throw to second, however, and a forced play there on Lopez. Mondesi came up with the ball, and they forced Lopez.
Well, Raul finding different ways to get assists. He got the ball on the short trap hop. Then he had to avoid Delino to Shields to make the throw to second. Well, Lopez kind of got caught in no man's land. Looks like it's going to be a base hit. Mondesi playing shallow, traps it. Then he's got to avoid Delino and make the throw to second. Offerman makes a good play to come up and then get down on the base. So the 11th assist for Mondesi. It would have been easy if the Shields hadn't gotten in the way, but then Raul had to. Offerman stepped on the bag with a force play, but decided he'd put the tag down anyway. And Rafael goes, man, tough enough getting a base hit against this guy, and now it's not even a hit.
Now the pitcher, John Smoltz, fouls the first pitch right back into the screen. Strike 1. So Lopez caught in between out there with that little looper into short right field. So Mondesi picks up his 11th assist.
One of the home runs that Nomo gave up this year was to Billy Swift, a pitcher for the Colorado Rockies. John Smoltz has got good power. He can't just keep laying that fastball down the middle here.
Count is 1-1. Nomo coming in here off 2 consecutive shutouts, gave up the first inning run, and that put an end to the 18 consecutive scoreless inning streak he had going. 1-1 to Smoltz. And a foul ball headed into the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
In fact, Nomo's really only bad outing came at Coors Field in Colorado. He gave up 7 earned runs in 4 1/3, 3 homers. Tony Gwynn went over to meet Nomo when the Padres were playing, and through the interpreter, Tony said, "How do you like Los Angeles?" He says, "Great." "How about Colorado?" "No."
Strike 3 is called. There's a lot of pitchers agreeing with Nomo on the assessment of Colorado. We are through 4 tonight in Atlanta. Still tied 1-1. The Braves are tied 1-1. San Francisco and Atlanta coming up Sunday at 7:56. Following baseball tonight, the final game before the All-Star break. National League starters Barry Bonds and Fred McGriff lead their respective teams into this one. Join John Miller and Joe Morgan as the first half of the season comes to a close here in Atlanta on Sunday night. John Smoltz, 8 strikeouts, no walks. Delino DeShields opening the 5th inning, and Smoltz gives him a strike. 16 strikeouts in this game through the first 4 innings. 8 by Nomo, 8 by Smoltz. 1-1. Nomo has allowed 2 hits, a couple of walks. Smoltz 6 hits, no walks, and each pitcher with 8 Ks. Fastball in for a strike. It's 1-2.
Smoltz has really spotted his fastball well tonight. Mostly outside corner to the lefties and to the right-handers.
He misses here to take the count to 2-2. And what we're seeing out of Smoltz is a continuation of the way he has thrown the ball for the last month or so. He has pitched very well, putting together a record of 7-4. He's earned on average right at 3 coming into this game. There's a bouncer out to second, and Belliard takes care of it. So Rafael Belliard gets his first opportunity to make the play. With all these strikeouts, the infielders have been rather laid back with not much to do.
One of the interesting things with the Braves, with this veteran pitching staff, Javi Lopez in his 2nd year. Last year was really a struggle. Can you imagine taking over maybe the best pitching staff in the last 15 years in the major leagues and having to put down signs? Smoltz, with the shields up there, finally shook off, I think, his first sign of the night.
Offerman going to bunt. That's a strike.
Last year, it got so confusing. One time, Steve Avery was pitching, and Lopez put down 3, and Avery called him out and said, "I don't throw a slider." Javier said whenever he panics, he puts down 3. I think his demeanor, he just seems to be playing with more confidence now. I mean, he's good stature, but he just seems to be not so indecisive in his pitch calls.
Ball. Offerman saw an 0-2 pitch up a little bit that time. Found it away.
Rockin' Leo Mazzoni, the pitching coach of the Atlanta Braves. A little bit of a different philosophy than the Dodgers and Tommy Lasorda about how deep pitchers get into games. We'll explore that as this game progresses.
The 2-strike pitch again. Fastball away.
Just to tell you that the big 5 of the Braves, only 33 times in their career have the 5 of them together throwing more than 130 pitches in a game. Fernando Valenzuela in 1987 did it 15 times by himself. So the Dodgers and Tommy Lasorda, if he gets a starter out there that's pitching well, he's going to stay with them. Where the Braves, if a guy gets close to 130, he isn't going to be around.
Count is 2-2. DeShields is grounded out. Offerman, the second hitter of the inning, strikes out. That's 9 for Smoltz. So Smoltz retires the first 2 hitters in this inning. 2 up, 2 down for Piazza.
Nasty breaking ball right here. This has got some good downward tilt. Smoltz with 9 strikeouts.
Piazza bounces this one off the plate, but foul down the left side. Strike one. Smoltz with a ways to go, but his career high in the strikeout department came against the Expos up in Montreal in 1992. He struck out 15 Montreal Expos. He's 2 outs into the 5th inning, has 9 strikeouts against the Dodgers in this game. Count is 1-1.
Well, you got 2 pitchers, great strikeout pitchers, and you got a home plate umpire, Charlie Rutherford, who, whenever I've seen him behind the plate, has always favored the pitchers more than the hitters. So that's a pretty good recipe for some punch-outs.
That's exactly what we have tonight, a lot of punch-outs. There's a ground ball, right side, gets away from McGriff, and Piazza is going to reach. Smoltz was on his way to cover, and that'll be an error charged to McGriff, his 4th this year, and the 45th of the year charged to the Braves.
Fred getting some bad habits playing against the Dodgers. Didn't get the glove down. He thought it was going to come up. Piazza inside outing, got tied up a little bit. Mike hustling all the way, though, and he sees McGriff boot it. One thing about Piazza, he does play hard.
So with 2 outs, the Dodgers have a base runner. They have placed men on base in every inning except the 2nd. A walk here, some base hits, and now the error. Karras swings over this one, strike one. Some people thought that Karras should be on the All-Star team. 5 of his teammates have made it. And he's not overly disappointed. Of course, he'd like to be there, but he knows that he's made steady progress in his career. This is 4th year up. High foul, that's going to be out of play.
Well, I certainly think, Eric, in a group, you're going to have it every year. Guys like Larry Walker, Derek Bell leading the National League in hitting. Thought Sean Dunston of the Cubs probably deserved to go. Always going to be guys because of the numbers crunch. 28-man roster, and you must have at least 1 player from every team. Charlie Hayes of the Phillies.
Now still 2 strikes with that foul ball.
Those will be the National League starters. Of course, Ozzie Smith and Matt Williams will not play due to injuries. Matt is going to get the pins out of his foot very soon. Ozzie Smith coming off shoulder surgery. And Greg Maddux, according to Felipe Alou, will be the starting pitcher.
This one misses. The count is a ball and 2 strikes.
First borderline pitch that's gone to a hitter tonight. See where Lopez is set up. Off the plate, but Rutherford's been ringing that up with regularity all evening.
Breaking ball is outside, and the count is 2-2. Smoltz tonight has not walked anybody.
Unless you think umpires calling strikes are going to take the offense out of the game. I watched Bill Hahn last night in a game in Denver. He called everything around the plate strikes all night long, and the final score was still 16-8.
Breaking ball, swing and a miss. 10 strikeouts for Smoltz. Bottom of the 5th coming. We're tied 1-1.
Possible pitching duel, and to spin all of that. 18 strikeouts, 8 for Hideo Nomo. Let's look at the anatomy of the strikeouts. Splitter out of the strike zone. Chipper Jones, another splitter, chased by McGriff. This one is a strike, and Klesko swings and misses through it. Called strike on the fastball. Marquise Grissom chasing a splitter. Chipper out on a fastball up and in. Might have chased a bad pitch. And Klesko didn't like the call on this one. And Smoltz just beaten with a heater on the outside corner.
So Nomo goes back to work here in the bottom of the 5th with 8 strikeouts, having allowed that first inning run. 2 hits through the first 4 innings and 75 pitches. Top of the order, Marquise Grissom steps in for the Braves. A foul ball straight back this way and out of play. Grissom walked and scored the Atlanta run in the 1st. 0-2.
Shopping for wood and not getting any.
Up the right side, Mondesi is there. He started to come in as he traveled toward the line and then had to make a little leaping grab on that one. Grissom is 0 for 2.
Marquise got an 0-2 fastball. Probably wasn't even a strike. He just put the tomahawk swing on it. Mondesi was playing him towards the right field line.
Jeff Blauser. Blauser's been on twice with a single. And he reached on Ashley's error and the ball hit the left.
That's Nomo's curveball. I think that's about the third one he's thrown tonight. The big slow one that really drops a long ways is his slow curve. Doesn't throw it more than maybe 6-7 times a night.
He's too high with this. A 2-0 count. Hideo Nomo, the National League Pitcher of the Month in June. 6-0 with a 0.89 earned run average. There's a foul ball again backing out of play. We're in the bottom of the fifth.
Well, Clarence Jones has called Jeff Blauser the best fastball hitter on the Atlanta Braves, and he's had 3 fastballs tonight. He just fouled one off right in the hitting zone.
Ball 3. So the count goes to 3 balls and a strike. Braves getting their first look ever at Nomo. And Blauser hits one back into left. That ball's got some carry on it. Ashley feeling for the wall and makes the catch. Ball carried all the way back to the track. Ashley started to feel for the wall and had room.
Well, Blauser got the 3-1 fastball and just hit her a little bit out towards the end of the bat. I thought Blauser had it. The trajectory was there. He just hit it a little bit short of the sweet spot. Ashley reaching out, knows he's in good shape.
2 outs on the drive by Blauser. Here's Chipper Jones. Ball 1. Jones is 0 for 2. A couple of strikeouts on the night. Hitting .241. Center field where Roberto Kelly awaits for it. A 1-2-3 inning. We are through 5, still tied 1-1. It's a hot, humid night in Atlanta for both pitchers and the catchers as well, as Mike Piazza tries to stay cool in the Dodger dugout. We're on to the 6th inning. Smoltz back to the hill to face Roberto Kelly, the number 5 hitter in Tommy Lasorda's lineup. And a foul ball, strike 1.
Well, for the first time, Nomo did not match up Smoltz with the strikeouts. Every time John would go out, Nomo would have a chance to answer, but Smoltz has 10 now to Nomo's 8.
And a strike call. Kelly down 0-2. That's been a familiar case for a lot of hitters tonight. Nomo, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. Bouncing ball to the right side. McGriff makes this play unassisted.
Well, let's take a look at the 10 strikeouts of John Smoltz. We looked at Nomo. John doing it with an assortment. Backdoor curveball. Slider Piazza couldn't hold up on. And then Mondesi will chase a slider. 3. Wallach won't be able to hold up on that one. 4. Karros chases the slider. 5. Roberto Kelly the slider. 6. Ashley the slider. Fastball to Nomo. And Offerman saw a slider. So Smoltz, 9 of his 10 strikeouts have come on the breaking ball.
Mondesi goes after the first pitch and lofts a fly ball to short center for the second out. Grissom handled that one easily. So 2 up, 2 down. Overall, Smoltz with 10 strikeouts and no walks tonight.
Just wonder if maybe the pitch count or the heat starting to take the toll a little bit on both pitchers. Nomo did not have a strikeout in the bottom of the 5th. Smoltz doesn't have one so far here in the 6th. Both of them are over the 80 pitch mark.
Tim Wallach fails to make contact there. Strike one.
Is this guy ever going to throw me a fastball? He reached out and poked a breaking ball into right field his last time up, so he thought maybe Smoltz might come inside to keep him honest, and went right back to the slider again.
And the fly ball hit into right. Justice will have to go back, and it's going to be over his head. One hop and bouncing off the fence. Grissom plays the carom, and Wallach is in with a double, his 2nd straight hit. His 9th double of the year.
Well, Wallach got the fastball 0-1. Jumped up the ladder. I don't think it was even in the strike zone, and hit a high rope. Wallach thinking going the other way. Justice thought maybe he had a chance, and of course the right shoulder is the one that he has the torn ligaments. That's the shoulder he's got the glove on. He may have not just wanted to stretch out, and they'll walk Ashley to get to Nomo.
With first base open, the obvious choice here is to walk Ashley intentionally. Nomo due next. So the 2-out double by Wallach calls for the intentional pass for Ashley. The first walk given up tonight by Smoltz, with Nomo on deck. Nomo is 0 for 2 tonight, and interestingly enough has scored the only Dodger run. When they tried to put down a sacrifice and failed, he reached out a fielder's choice and later scored on a base hit by Mike Piazza. 2 men on with 2 men out.
Looked like Tommy was in a little bit of a daze there. The heat must be getting to him.
He's in the zone.
He's in the zone. Well, both pitchers have been in the zone tonight.
Now Smoltz against Nomo. There's the strike. Nomo nothing out of 32 at the plate. To the count. We checked with some of the Dodger followers here, and they think that when Nomo reached in the 3rd inning, that was his first time on base ever, and it would figure, if you look at his numbers, to be the case. And a ground ball headed to second, Belliard with the throw to first to retire the side. 2 men left. We go into the bottom of the 6th from Atlanta, with the Dodgers and the Braves still tied 1-1. Now, he rips and fouls this one back out of play. 1-1.
Well, we'll see if the pitchers were just teasing his last inning. Neither Smoltz nor Nomo had a strikeout. First time that had happened in the ball game.
Nomo has made 87 pitches now, counting these 2 here in the 6th. 31 of those came in the 1st inning. A chopper over the mound. This is Offerman from short, and Karros is able to keep his foot on the bag for the out.
Nice play by Jose. Had to go a long ways to get to it. Karros may have started his stretch a little soon and had to hold on to the bag. Nomo readjusting. That's a split finger pitch, but Nomo can't get it. Offerman all the way to the shortstop side. And Karros keeps the foot on the bag.
The Dodger infield finally getting some business. We've had a lot of fly balls, pop-ups, strikeouts. And Offerman had to range far to his left to come up with that one. Now Justice, the hitter, David Justice. 1 ball, no strikes. Offerman shaded up the middle, playing Justice to pull. 2-0 the count.
Kind of a good news, bad news situation for the Dodgers. Bad news is that their defense has not been very good for a long time, but they keep coming up with strikeout pitchers.
Justice started to wade into that one, and it came up and in. It's a 3-0 count. Saw
Dave's reaction. He went, whoo.
at 3-1. Just 2 hits for the Braves off Nomo. First inning single by Blauser and a 4th inning single by Lopez. And he has walked David Justice. 3rd walk given up by Nomo, his first since the first, when he walked Grissom and Justice. Now he has walked Justice again. 1 on, 1 out. Nomo will face Ryan Klesko, who's been swinging a very hot bat, but is 0 for 2. A strikeout victim twice tonight. Swinging the first time, looking the last time up in the 4th. Nomo taking a lot of time, and the first pitch to Klesko is in for a strike. Klesko, a big Willie Stargell fan. When Stargell was in the Braves organization, he spent some time with Klesko. The 0-1. Foul the other way out of play. 0-2. Good crowd tonight in Atlanta. The Braves have been averaging 33,000. Out here tonight to see Nomo. Nomo and Smoltz have hooked up in what was advertised to be a pitcher's duel, and so far that's exactly what it's been. Klesko out on strikes. Let's go to Gary Miller.
The Phils start tonight tied for first with the Braves. They got the lead at Pittsburgh, but back come the Bucks. Jeff King rips a shot over Lenny Dykstra. Here comes Mark Johnson to make it a 3-2 game. King would triple, but they strand him there, so the Phils still lead 3-2. Back to you.
Here in Atlanta, the game is tied 1-1. A runner at first, Justice, with 2 outs for Javier Lopez. Lopez with one of the Braves' hits tonight. It's a ground ball headed to short. Offerman with the flip to DeShields. That retires the side. We're headed into the 7th, and this game is still tied 1-1. Just across the parking lot from Fulton County Stadium, construction continues on the 85,000-seat Atlanta Olympic Stadium. Renovations after the games will turn the stadium into a new 50,000-seat home for the Atlanta Braves beginning in 1997. And on the topic of the Olympics, Special Olympics tomorrow at 1 p.m. on ESPN from New Haven, Connecticut. More than 7,000 athletes involved. Some great stories. Delino DeShields leading off the 7th inning. So it's the top of the order for the Los Angeles Dodgers. This one is fouled back. DeShields is 1 out of 3. Up for the count of 1-1.
Braves had their bullpen up last inning, so John Smoltz could be pitching his final inning. He's due to hit second in the bottom of the 7th.
He throws a strike and is ahead of DeShields. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball quiet now in the bullpen, but we'll see what happens. Smoltz with 10 strikeouts, and Leo Mazzoni continues that little rock. Strike call. DeShields caught looking. That's 11 for Smoltz.
Locked him up with a breaking ball. So 10 of the 11 strikeouts have come on a breaking ball. The only fastball was to Nomo on a 3-2 pitch. Rutherford goes. You out.
Now Jose Offerman. That ties the season high in strikeouts for Smoltz, and he has a strike on Offerman. He struck out 11 Colorado Rockies back in the middle of May. Again, his career high in a single game came against the Expos in 1992. That mark is 15. 11 strikeouts tonight. Offerman is in the hole, 0-2, looking at strike 2.
Smoltz hadn't thrown many changeups. He just did there.
Smoltz, 28 years old. Offerman. Did he go? Yes, he did. Offerman, the second strikeout of the inning, and that's a dozen for Smoltz. 2 up, 2 down.
Another breaking ball. Offerman going, And Randy Marsh said he went. Jose was halfway to the dugout anyway. Randy just made it easy for him.
So the base is empty. 2 gone. Mike Piazza is the hitter. Upstairs. 1 ball to no strikes. Well, however this one turns out, it has been as advertised. Smoltz has kept up his end of the bargain in this pitcher's duel. Nomo creating the excitement. He has been the sensation. There's the breakdown on both pitchers. That's on the corner. 2 balls and a strike.
Some people try to work Piazza inside once in a while, but John Smoltz has not thrown a ball on the inner half of the plate all night to Piazza. He's gone away, away, and away.
Now he's behind 3-1.
Piazza, though, a smart hitter. He's looking for something up out over the strike zone, and he'll try to take it to right center.
Great power, Piazza. 3-1 the count. He started to go, but checked and has drawn the walk. The second walk given up. The first one was the intentional pass to Ashley in the 6th.
Held up and takes the base on balls. Smoltz was not going to let Piazza beat him in that at bat with 2 outs and nobody on.
So Piazza's on base for the 3rd time tonight. This time a walk. He had singled and reached on an error prior to this, and here's Eric Karros. He is 2 of the 12 strikeout total for Smoltz.
I think John vapor locked there. Piazza isn't going anywhere.
Karros goes after this one, shoots it through the middle into center, a base hit. Piazza stops at second. So the Dodgers first baseman Eric Karros takes Smoltz right back through the middle. So with 2 outs, the Dodgers try to put something together. They have Roberto Kelly due up. The walk to Piazza, the Karros single. Kelly is 0 for 3. Going outside, ball 1.
Kelly looking for his first lifetime hit against Smoltz, 0 for 11.
Into the dirt, it bounces away from Lopez. Both runners will advance. A wild pitch. The 2nd of the night charged to Smoltz. The 4th of the year charged to him. Now the Dodgers have 2 men in scoring position.
Breaking ball. Lopez tries to block. Hits off the heel of his glove, and Karom's over. Instead of the ball hitting the chest protector, got the corner of the glove, and that deflected it.
Kelly ahead in the count now, and the 2-0 ground ball is short. Blauser's throw to first retires the side. In the 7th, the Dodgers lead 2 more. They've stranded 10 through 7. We're tied 1-1. 1-1 as we go into the bottom of the 7th inning. Now it's time for the Kelly Springfield Tire key plays of the game. The Braves open the scoring on this wild pitch with David Justice at the plate. Marquise Grissom came home with the first run. And in the 3rd inning, The Dodgers tied this game. Mike Piazza at the plate with 2 outs. And his base hit to center scored Hideo Nomo, running the bases for the first time. And that accounts for the scoring so far in this contest.
One thing about John Smoltz, when he finishes his delivery, he falls off to the first base side. There's been 4 balls hit right over the mound tonight that have gone into center field, but that's his normal delivery, so he probably isn't going to change it.
Smoltz is due to hit second in this inning. Belliard, then Smoltz and Grissom. And the Braves pitcher has 12 strikeouts, a couple of walks. The bullpen is silent. And Nomo back to the mound for the Dodgers. Nomo, another big strikeout night here. Rafael Belliard has put the ball into play twice, 0 for 2. And Nomo strikes him with a strike. The opposition hitting just 165 off Nomo. Just 2 hits so far tonight. The ground ball. Delino to Shields. To Karros at first. That's the first out in the 7th. So John Smoltz is going to be the hitter. These 2 clubs in the middle of their respective races in the East. The Braves and the Phillies coming into play today with identical records, tied for first. And the Dodgers a game back of the Rockies in the West.
Phillies leading 3-2 in the 8th tonight. Dodgers looking at the scoreboard. See Houston on top of Colorado 2-0 in the 3rd.
Smoltz takes ball 1. Smoltz twice has been called out on strikes. Two ball, no strike count. Smoltz 1 out of 26 for the year. And Nomo behind him 3-0. He did this in the 2nd inning and went back to go 3-2 and got him looking. Nomo was 8-7 a year ago in Japan. Had some shoulder problems. 6-1 coming into this one. Now he's 3-2 again with Smoltz. 6-0 in June. Over the 100 pitch mark now as we play here in the 7th inning. Smoltz walks. A 1-out walk. 4 bases on balls given up by Nomo.
Only chink in the arsenal. 41 walks he'd allowed coming into tonight. By comparison, Greg Maddux of the Braves has walked 8. It's amazing with all the gyrations and moves that he can actually get in a proper pitching position, but somehow he does it.
And it was that delivery that earned him the nickname the Tornado. Top of the order, Marquise Grissom. After the first pitch, and he fouls it away. Out of play. Marquise walked on 4 pitches and scored in the first. Otherwise, nothing but 2.
Marquise saying, well, I saw my fastball. He got one last time, 0-2, and hit a rocket to right. The Mondesi grab.
Did he go? Yes, he did, says Jeff Kellogg. And that puts Grissom in the hole, 0-2.
Looked like he went to me. A partisan crowd not going to agree with it. Bobby Cox, I don't know if he agreed. Yeah, he definitely went.
An 0-2 count. There's a foul ball. Belliard grounded out, then Smoltz walked. And now the bullpen is busy after the base on balls. Brad Klontz, who came in and got a couple of big outs last night, is loosening in the bullpen. There goes the runner. A pitch is swung on, a little foul ball.
Not a bad idea. I mean, the Braves figuring they're going to see a fork ball, and Nomo would really try to keep it down, maybe bounce it to Piazza on 0-2. And they sent John a running. Carroll's playing behind. He had a huge jump.
Now Smoltz back in at first base. Been a long night for him, and now he's running the bases late in the game. Both these pitchers working on a very hot, humid night in Atlanta. And a bouncing ball deep short. Offerman's play at second. DeShields cannot come up with the throw, and both runners are safe. Offerman ranging toward the hole, and the Dodgers could not make the play.
Well, I would assume they're going to have to call that an error on Offerman. Force play was easy at second. He should have just taken his time. Smoltz wasn't even halfway down there. He's not going to get a double play with Grissom. Just take your time and make a good throw, but short hops to Shields. And that's the Dodgers' third error of the game. Offerman has one. Ashley and Nomo have made the error.
And while the Braves pitcher Smoltz has to run the bases here late in the game, that error puts more pressure on Nomo, keeps him out here a little longer. Runners at first and second with only one out, and Jeff Blauser is the hitter. Smoltz at second and Grissom at first. Ashley was charged with an error earlier back in the third on a ball hit by Blauser, and he dropped the fly ball in left. Blauser goes after the first one and misses strike one. Well, if the Braves have seen a pitch that appears close to being straight on that first pitch they've offered tonight, that has been their approach. Normally they work to count. They lead the National League in bases on balls. They've drawn 250 now, including the 4 tonight. Blauser's behind in the count, 0-2. A tough night with men in scoring position for the Braves.
Nomo, it seems though when the club makes a mistake behind him, he just bears down a little bit more and tries to pick him up.
Time call.
Kind of funny. Piazza had a pretty good line the other day. He says Nomo has no idea who he's facing, but he says, I guarantee you the hitters know who they're facing.
He's ahead of Blauser, 2 strikes. And strike 3 is called on the outer edge. Nomo goes away, and now he's in double figures. He catches Blauser looking. That's 10 strikeouts for Hideo Nomo.
Some pitchers just have the ability when the defense plays poorly behind them to turn it up a notch and pick the defense up. Nomo made as good a pitches there, 3 of them to Blauser, as he's made all night. Well, the other side's got 9, so she turned it over, and that's the first one for 10.
Chipper Jones, 2 on, 2 out in a tie game. Bottom of the 7th. And a fastball's in around the knees for a strike. Jones has struck out twice in his 3 trips. Forkball got him in the first. High fastball got him swinging in the third. Center field with a fly ball in the 5th inning. One ball, 1 strike.
The Braves may not know it, but the Pirates scored 5 to go ahead of the Phillies 7-3. So if the Braves can win this game tonight, looks like they may move into first place by themselves. Phillies have lost 8 out of 9.
Chipper Jones waiting on Nomo. Into the dirt. Blocked by Piazza. The count is 2-1.
Piazza, good technique. Looks at hitting him in the chest protector.
It's John Cummings in the bullpen for the Dodgers. So both bullpens are busy. Bottom of the 7th. And the count goes all the way to 3-1. A walk and an error in the inning. And the Braves are threatening. It's going to take a 2-out hit. The 118th pitch for Nomo, and there is ball 4. So he walks Jones. 5 walks in the game. 2 of those coming in this inning. The bases are going to be loaded here. It's Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, perched on the top step of the dugout. Bases are loaded. Fred McGriff due for the Braves. And Wallace is on his way to the mound.
I'd be very surprised if they make a move. I think Nomo stays in unless he gives up a run.
The game is tied 1-1. Bottom of the 7th. Nomo close to 120 pitches in this game. A warm, humid evening. McGriff is 0 for 3 tonight against Nomo. So Dave Wallace, in his first year as the pitching coach for the Dodgers after 14 years in the minor leagues as a pitching instructor, gets his point across as much as he's able here with Nomo on the mound working on the language barrier. And here's Fred McGriff. McGriff goes after this one and pops it down the left field line. That's going to be foul. Down toward the Dodgers bullpen. A looper up the other way. 1 strike to count.
Let's go back to that one statistic we told you about early. When Nomo goes 0-1, they hit 094 in the subsequent at bat.
Smoltz, the runner at third. Grissom on second base, and Jones, the runner at first. McGriff pops it foul again. This time Wallach makes the catch. The veteran third baseman in foul territory turns in a heck of a play to retire the side, and the Braves leave the bases loaded. We are through 7 innings. On to the 8th we go. Wallach's catch ends the inning. This game is tied 1-1. We're back in Atlanta with Dave Campbell, Dwayne Stats, a tie ball game. And Dave, this has been everything that we expected with Nomo and Smoltz squaring off.
Well, you know, the Braves said kind of show me, and I think Nomo showed him early, and you notice the aggressive nature of the first ball hitting later on. Smoltz has certainly answered the challenge. He goes, hey, how about me? I'm a pretty good pitcher, too. He's actually gotten more strikeouts, 12-10, and great catch by Tim Wallach to bail Nomo out of a bases-loaded job. And what did Nomo think? Yeah, he liked it, and Wallach will get congratulations from his teammates in the Dodger dugout.
Well, Smoltz had been pitching very well coming into this game, although he was coming off a loss against the Phillies, but he pitched well in that game and lost a 3-1 decision. He goes back to the mound after running the bases in the bottom of the 7th inning, and he faces Raul Mondesi to open the 8th. And you always wonder when a pitcher has a high pitch count, a lot of strikeouts, and has to run the bases the inning before. He goes out and throws a strike to Mondesi to open the 8th inning. You always wonder if maybe being out there on the bases all inning Might take something away from a pitcher. Well, Smoltz is facing that challenge now. Big swing by Mondesi, and he missed that one by plenty. 0-2 the count. Mondesi lays off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wallach due next, and then Ashley. Smoltz has given up 8 hits tonight. 2 walks and 12 strikeouts. Mondesi started to go, but checked. That squares the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Some great baseball going on tonight in Atlanta with these 2 clubs, these 2 pitchers. Again, wide. So Smoltz, when he's missing, is missing way wide to Mondesi. Mondesi very strong. And the count is 3-2.
Obviously a guy you want to keep off the bases if you're John Smoltz. Guy can reap a lot of havoc.
Big pitch to open the 8th. 3-2 and a shot foul. It's going to wind up in the seats back of the dugout down the first base side. They've matched up pretty well right down the line, Dave.
Yeah, we say the Braves starters very rarely ever go over 130. And that's why their bullpen's busy right now.
3-2 again. And a fly ball. Right center. Who's going to catch it now? Justice makes the grab. Let's go to Gary Miller.
Dwayne, we're in the bottom of the 8th. Pittsburgh down. Ricky Bottalico on in relief, and Dave Clark pinch hitting. And what a move for Jimmy Leland. He hits a 3-run opposite field home run, his 4th of the year. Just the 2nd hit off Bottalico. Martin followed with another. The Pirates have handed the Phils another loss.
That's bad news for the Phillies. Good news for the Braves. As Tim Wallach bats for the Dodgers. Takes a rip, comes up empty. Strike 1. Wallach has 2 of the 8 hits.
Came in 7 for 40 against Smoltz, so he's had a better night than he usually has in the
He
career.
gets hold of this one, sends it deep to center. Grissom all the way to the track. He's going to have room and makes the catch. Wallach, who doubled to right field in the 6th, gave this one a ride, and Grissom had to go to the track to catch it for out number 2 in the 8th.
Marquise Grissom usually plays shallow, plays a little deeper here, trying to cut off the extra base hit. But if it stays in the yard, you're usually not going to get it over Grissom's head. Tremendous jump, gets back easily. He's one of those outfielders who can just turn, run to a spot. He's such a great judge of a fly ball. Nomo was thinking maybe.
He was hoping. Ashley takes ball 1. Ashley has been on twice, intentionally walked his last time to get to Nomo. Takes a strike there. He had a single in the 3rd inning. He is very strong. And a ground ball fair by 3rd. That's going to be extra bases. It kicks out to Klesko. A double for Ashley. A 2-out double. And now, with Nomo due, Dave Hansen is about to make an appearance. So we'll get a pinch hitter for Nomo and a pinch runner for Ashley.
Roger Cedeno will go in. Better speed and much better defense. And Dave Hansen hits for Nomo. Braves do have a left-hander, Bourbon, throwing. And the right-hander, I believe, was Quantz.
So Nomo is lifted for Dave Hansen. Hansen has a home run this year. And he'll bat with 2 outs. And Roger Cedeno in scoring position at second base. Todd Worrell, the right-hander, has joined John Cummings, the lefty, in the Dodger bullpen. Hansen. Pinch hitting. And he held up on the appeal down to third. That's ball one. Hansen 2 out of 16 pinch hitting this year with 1 run batted in that role.
Certainly looks like he held back. Of course, Braves fans aren't going to want to give the umpires the benefit of the doubt anyway.
This one a little high. 2-0.
Well, I think Bobby Cox knows that John Smoltz is about the end of his rope, but he also knows the only way Smoltz can get a win is if he finishes this inning.
Two nothing the count. That's low. 3 balls and no strikes. Nomo lifted for the pinch hitter. 10 strikeouts, 5 walks, a run, and 2 hits through 7 innings.
I think it impressed me more than anything is when Offerman made that error in the 7th inning, got in deep trouble. He just reached back, threw great pitches to both Jeff Blauser and then jam Fred McGriff. So they decided to walk Hansen. They'll take their shot with DeShields.
At top of the batting order, Delino DeShields coming up after falling behind the pinch hitter Hansen, 3-0. The Braves put him on intentionally. 3rd walk given up by Smoltz. 2 of those have been intentional walks. Mondesi and Wallach were retired, but then the double by Ashley started the wheels in motion. Cedeno running for Ashley, Hansen hitting for Nomo, walking. The Braves bullpen has been busy for the last inning or so. Clance was up early. Pedro Borbon is down there with him. And the pitch to DeShields, that's a ball, and the Atlanta fans doing a little umpiring on their own thought perhaps that had caught the strike zone.
342 men in scoring position. DeShields has been one of the Dodgers' better clutch hitters. Mike Piazza, their top guy, at 459.
130 pitches for Smoltz now, and there's a strike. You can tell on this hot evening with the pitch count being what it is, he's not quite as crisp as he has been through most of the evening. He has pitched extremely well, and so did Nomo. There's a strike. It's 1 and 2.
Well, everybody talks about Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, Steve Avery, but John Smoltz has been the big money pitcher for the Braves ever since going back to 1991 in postseason.
1 and 2 the count to DeShields. He takes this one as it dips down and in. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. DeShields' hit came back in the 3rd when he singled. The Dodgers have left 10 men on base. They have 2 men on with 2 men out now. The 2-2. And a one-hopper out to second. Belliard makes the play to retire the tie. Dodgers do not score and lead 2 more. 12 in the game. We'll go into the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers 1, Braves 1. Into the bottom of the 8th in Atlanta with the Dodgers and the Braves tied 1-1. John Cummings on to make his 2nd appearance for the Dodgers in relief of Nomo. He'll face Justice to lead off the inning. A couple of left-handed hitters. Roger Cedeno stays on and takes over in left field after pinch running for Ashley in the top of the 8th. David Justice to lead off, then Ryan Klesko do, followed by the right-handed bat of the catcher Javier Lopez.
More than likely, Cummings only to face 2 hitters before they go to Worrell. The
first pitch is a strike. Cummings was in the game last night for the Dodgers, his second Dodger appearance. And he got Fred McGriff on a fly ball to right. He's ahead of Justice, 0-2. Justice has drawn a couple walks tonight. In the hole against the left-hander. That moves him away from the plate. 1-2.
Dodgers have been looking for a good left-hander in their bullpen ever since Steve Howe left. And that's been a long time.
We go to 2-2 now.
Remember, they also had John Franco early in his career in the minor leagues. He got away.
Justice bounces this one fair back to first, and Karras races him to the bag, beating him in. Karras takes care of it unassisted for the first out. Justice hustling down the line.
I thought Cummings was there. I don't know why Karras decided to match the sprint, but he got there by a step. Cummings was there. I guess the Dodger philosophy is don't make a throw unless you have to.
Well, he was about a half step away from being forced to make a throw. This is Plesko, ground ball, grabbed by DeShields. Back to first. Plesko going after the first pitch is the second out. 2 up, 2 down here in the 8th. Javier Lopez is due, but here comes the pitching coach, Dave Wallace.
Well, they had Worrell up, and now Jose Parra is throwing in the tie game. They were going to have Worrell if they were ahead.
So a pitching change in the making. From Atlanta tonight, the Dodgers and the Braves are tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Coming up, the Blue Jays and the California Angels from Anaheim. Bob Carpenter, Jim Rooker standing by with a call on that one following our game here in Atlanta. The Dodgers have made a pitching change. Their third pitcher of the night is Pedro Estacio.
Thought it was Parra. It's Estacio, who has been moved to the bullpen when they got Willie Banks, who's now in the rotation.
Lopez, the hitter in the first pitch, is upstairs, ball 1. Javi Lopez, the Braves catcher, batting with the bases empty. So Cummings retired the 2 left-handed hitters, Justice and Plesko. 2-0 the count.
Estacio always does that with his arm. That doesn't mean his arm is sore. Most pitchers, when they shake their shoulder like that, it means their arm is sore. Not Estacio. He's done it his whole career.
And he promptly falls behind. Lopez 3-0. Dwight Smith has moved into the on-deck circle for the Braves. Belliard is due to hit, but the left-handed bat of Smith is out on deck. And a swing at that 3-0 pitch on the fastball. Lopez fouled it back.
Well, when you get a pitcher in the hole and you got the kind of strength that Javi Lopez does, no sense in waiting around. You gave him a green light.
And a foul ball. That's going to wind up out of play to take the count to 3-2. Estacio, this is his 17th appearance after 11 starts. He had 1 complete game. His victory a shutout. He was 1-6. 443 earned run average. And the 3-2 is popped up. Delino DeShields makes the catch to retire the side. We're headed into the 9th in Atlanta. Tie game, 1-1. Javi Lopez popped out to end the bottom of the 8th inning, and that carries the game into the 9th. Tied 1-1. Dodgers and the Braves. John Smoltz is gone after 8 innings, and Mark Wohlers takes over. Dave, he has been pitching very well for the Braves.
37 strikeouts and 26 in the 3rd. Just 16 hits. His stuff has always been there since he's come to the big leagues. It was a matter of inconsistency and sometimes no confidence. But right now he is pitching with a lot of it. And he'll have to in the 9th because the Dodgers will send Offerman, then Piazza and Karros.
So Wohlers with his heat takes over in the place of John Smoltz. Smoltz finished the night with 12 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 intentional pass, gave up a run on 9 hits through 8 innings. Jose Offerman. And the pitch is in there for a strike. Crowd of just under 37,000 tonight in Atlanta. Offerman, a couple of strikeouts on the evening against Smoltz. And Wohlers is ahead of him, 0-2.
Yeah, when you try to gear up for that 98, 99, 100-mile-an-hour gas, and then they throw the slide ball to you, you can have some foolish swings.
Since about the middle of May, all of his saves have been registered, and the earned run average is about 1.5. 2 strikes to count. He gets strike 3 call. Offerman, the first out in the 9th.
"13 strikeouts of the Dodgers tonight, 12 of them on breaking balls. Paralyzed with a slider.
Now Mike Piazza. Piazza has been on base 3 times. He's had 4 at-bats against Wohlers and is 2 out of 4 against him. With a strike. Offerman, who just struck out on the other hand, 0 for 5. Now Piazza.
Such an easy motion by Mark Wohlers, and that's one of the things the Braves, when they scouted him in high school, he didn't have that great velocity, but they loved his easy motion. And as he matured, the fastball went up about 10 to 12 miles an hour on the radar gun, and I think he's even gone up further than that now. He was about 85 in high school, if that.
You see him holding his hands in front of him, gives him kind of a frame of reference. A foul ball out of play. And they say that's been part of his success here. Some adjustments mechanically to keep him in sync. And he starts every pitch the same way with his hands extended in front of him. Facing Piazza. Up in the count, 0-2. And he got it. Wohlers with 2 strikeouts, and boy, when you can throw as hard as he can and put any kind of bend in the ball, it's such a great advantage, and we've seen that with both Offerman and now Piazza.
Watch the easy, fluid motion.
Base is empty, 2 gone for the Dodgers first baseman, Eric Karros. And there is a ball. The first ball he's thrown since coming into this game. He had made 7 pitches, all for strikes, before this one. Karros could not hold. The count is 1-1. 1-1 the count. The game has been tied since the third. And a strike on the outside part of the plate. Wohlers ahead 1-2.
More than likely only working 1 inning due to hit second. Bobby Cox, though, as his club has already caught Philadelphia and can go past him tonight, he knows he's got a horse. He's not going to wear him out in the month of July.
The 1-2 pitch from Wohlers to Karras. He got it. He strikes out the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers. Bottom of inning 9 coming from Atlanta. The Dodgers have a run. The Braves have a run. The bottom of the 9th inning from Atlanta. The Dodgers and the Braves are tied 1-1. It has been that way since the third. A crowd of just under 37,000 in Atlanta following our game in Anaheim. The Blue Jays and the Angels are coming up next here on ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball. Bob Carpenter and Jim Rooker on hand for that game.
Mr. Wohlers heating it up a little bit in the top of the 9th. Mercy.
He made 11 pitches in that inning. 10 turned out to be strikes one way or the other. And now Estacio, who came on to get Lopez to end the 8th inning, will face a couple of pinch hitters to start the 9th. Dwight Smith comes off the bench to hit for Belliard, who are down at the end of the Atlanta order with Belliard and then the pitcher Wohlers too.
Well, we got Jose Oliva on deck, but if Dwight Smith makes base, they may send up Mike Mordecai, a better bunter probably than Oliva. So that's not a dead cinch that he's going to hit.
The first pitch, Smith takes it 2 wide, ball 1. Smith batting .274 this year for Bobby Cox. A .328 on base percentage. And he's ahead in the count, 2-0.
Smith got the key walk in the 8th inning last night, pinch hitting, and scored what turned out to be the winning run.
That's a pretty good left-handed bat to have on that bench. He loves to hit, and he sends this one back into right center field. Kelly's there and makes the catch for the out. A 2-0 pitch, and Dwight Smith goes out to center.
Bobby thought, Estacio turned that ball over a little bit, kept it out of the power zone.
And now Oliva will be the pinch hitter with the bases empty and 1 out. Oliva hitting 146. Estacio delivers a ball. Oliva in pinch hit duty this year is 1 out of 10. Foul ball straight back. Braves bullpen is busy. Oliva hitting for Wohlers, and Brad Quantz throwing again in the Atlanta bullpen.
Dodgers be happy to see anybody but Wohlers.
Oliva is strong. He's capable of hitting the ball out. Behind in the count now, however, a ball and 2 strikes. Estacio leaves that one upstairs. That's 2-2. Dodger bullpen is busy. That's Rudy Cianez. 3 pitchers for the Dodgers, 2 so far for the Braves. Two and 2 the count. And a foul ball off that fastball. He had just a little piece of that one, and Oliva fouled it back.
Might have been just above the hitting zone. High fastball. Oliva a little uppercut swing. Estacio threw him a breaking ball before. It looked like the way Oliva was lunging that if Estacio could get something off speed over, he could kind of probably turn him inside out.
The count has gone to 2-2. And this one he throws into the dirt. Broke it off a couple feet too short. Now it's 3-2.
Pedro, see if he comes with a fastball. You know Oliva's going to be looking for that.
Oliva pinch hitting. Batting for Wohlers. 3-2 and a high foul. That's going to carry back into the seats. Forcing Estacio to make another 3-2 pitch. Smith has been utilized off the bench. Now Oliva. And a line drive into center for a base hit. Oliva picks up his second pinch hit of the year. Makes the turn and he'll hold there.
Mike Kelly will come out as a pinch runner as Tommy Lasorda. He probably knew the same thing, that if Estacio could get a breaking ball over, he'd get him, but he threw the fastball, so Mike Kelly, speedster, takes over for Oliva as a pinch runner.
That hit for the Braves, only their third of the night.
Fastball right down the horn, and Oliva hit it hard.
That's the first hit for the Braves since the fourth inning when Lopez singled. So Oliva now lifted for the pinch runner Kelly. And the top of the order, Marquise Grissom will bat. 1 on, 1 out. There goes Kelly. The pitch is a ball and the throw is in time. DeShields over to take the throw, and Piazza throws out Kelly.
One of the biggest improvement in Mike Piazza's game has been the throwing. He is now throwing with the best catchers in the National League, near 30%. And he threw a low cannon to cut down Mike Kelly. Not a bad jump, not a great one, but Kelly is had.
The next pitch to Grissom is upstairs, 2-0. Well, the pitch was up. Piazza had a good pitch to throw.
Piazza waited for the ball, got onto his left side quickly, and out goes Kelly.
He made a great throw. Right on the money. Bouncing ball, and that's going to go through into center field to Marquise Grissom is aboard.
Well, Piazza may get another shot to throw somebody out.
Well, this might be interesting with Grissom. Grissom 13 out of 16 running this year. Jeff Blauser will be the hitter. Blauser has been on base twice tonight. Once on a single. In the third on an error, hit the ball to the warning track in left in the fifth inning and was called out on strikes in the seventh. Estacio with a move to first to try to keep Marquise Grissom as close as he can. Bottom of the ninth. The game is tied 1-1. Nomo worked 7 to start for the Dodgers. Smoltz worked the first 8 for the Braves. And Blauser fouls this one back. I'm not sure, but he might like to have that pitch again. It appeared to be up and catching a little more of the plate than Estacio would like.
Blauser's got a lot of room in right center field. If he can hit one in that gap with Grissom's speed, it would be game, set, match.
0-1 the count. Again, a move to first. Grissom is back in there.
Marquise does not look like he has a maximum lead. Getting back much too easily.
He singled with 2 outs. Time called. No pitch. Time had been called, so the count is still 0-1. Lasorda not happy here in the 9th over that turn of events.
Doesn't wear his emotions on his sleeve, does he? Lips, maybe.
They say it's a lot more healthy that way.
Well, he ought to live forever then.
A 1-strike count. This one misses. 1-1.
Blauser is staring at Jimmy Williams, and I'm sure Marquise Grissom has a green light. If he can get a jump, he's not going to hold up one of the top base stealers in the game.
There's Grissom at first with 2 outs. And the pitch. Liner into left for a base hit. Grissom will stop at second. Cedeno returns the ball to the infield. Well, the Braves have 3 hits. They lost a man on the caught stealing. 2 outs with men at first and second. Chipper Jones is due to hit. Lasorda busy in the Dodger bullpen as Bobby Cox watches his club trying to pull this one out in the bottom of the 9th. The game is tied 1-1.
No, left-hander Joey Eischen is up. Chipper Jones, a better hitter left-handed than right-handed. Eischen has not been up that long. You saw Piazza go out and talk to Estacio.
So with 2 men on, 2 men out, Chipper Jones steps in. 0 for 3 tonight with a walk. Facing Estacio.
I would love to see a one-hop line drive to right field and see a race between Grissom's speed and Mondesi's arm.
The first pitch is high for a ball.
That would be the best against the best.
Mondesi has an assist in this game, 11 assists for the year. 1-0 the count. Jones hitting .240 at the moment. Look out as it moves him away. 2 balls, no strikes. Jones has been struggling a little bit at the plate. Bobby Cox gave him the day off last Saturday. Trying to get him restarted.
Chipper kind of diving in, and Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, is coming out. Don't know if he's going to make a move or not.
He's looking toward the bullpen, and he's going to make a move.
I think he wants the right-hander. That's what he said. So we're going to see Rudy Cianez.
Anastasio falls behind 2-0 on the count. Game is tied bottom of the 9th. Pitching change coming, and it will be back. Here the call goes to the bullpen for the Dodgers. The right-hander Rudy Cianez is in there following Pedro Estacio. And the Dodger right-hander will inherit a 2-0 count on Chipper Jones.
Thought maybe they'd bring the left-hander in and turn Chipper around. He hits .220 right-handed, .249 lefty, and his swing is much better from the left side.
The runners, Marquise Grissom at second. Jeff Blauser is the runner at first base. Grissom with good speed, and he's the guy who counts right now. 2 outs, 2 men on. Jones with a 2-0 count. Cianez ready to work. And a high drive hit deep to right. Mondesi all the way back, and this game is over. Chipper Jones on the first pitch from Cianez hits it out. A 3-run home run. And the Braves beat the Dodgers 4-1.
East.
The Braves celebrate the victory.
Well, everything that was billed and more. They let Chipper Jones bat left-handed, and the Dodgers pay for it. He thinks he's got it. And right about here, he knows he's got it. A great baseball game tonight, folks. Ends in a dramatic fashion.
Jimenez out of the bullpen to deliver one pitch. And Chipper Jones hits his 12th home run of the year as the Braves defeat the Dodgers 4-1. Now let's go to our colleagues Bob Carpenter and Jim Rose.